So speaking of crazy, so Rico Dowdle apparently, I don't know if it was a 24-hour bug that he got hit with yesterday. Looked fine to me, but again,
I know when I'm sick, the first thing I want to do is go sign autographs, be around a lot of people, be socializing, especially when it's something that hits me that sudden.
I mean, he's sitting there on the sideline, hanging out. Like, it was, again, it was one of those deals where when you heard that he was going to, because, hell, it was middle of the day, I think, yesterday when it came out that Rico Dowdle was getting scratched. And then you hear, okay, we already knew kind of that Dalvin Cook was going to play, so there was some excitement about that. He looked like I don't know, he looked like the number 20 version of Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, look, you had two just old-ass running backs in there last night, and that's exactly what it looked like. But Rico Dowdle didn't play, and so Stephen Jones cut Stephen 6. Stephen Jones asked about the Dowdle situation and the Dalvin Cook debut last night.
Well, Rico just, he's these flu bugs going around, and unfortunately it hit him when he woke up that morning, and it got progressively worse as the day went, and just felt like he, wasn't ready to go. And we had Dalvin, who we were going with anyway, and certainly Zeke, so we were in pretty good shape there, and it was good to get Dalvin in the mix, and thought Zeke made some nice runs for us yesterday.
Yeah, that's definitely one way of looking at it. If you're into aging running backs who, if you can get a 6 or 7 yard gain out of it, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, okay, that's the burst we were looking for.
You remember that segment on Around the Horn, the buy or sell?
Yes.
You buying or selling this?
You got to
the explanation. The explanation.
You got to sell 92% of what you hear out of these guys say anyway. When it comes to the running back room and every conversation they've had, and here's what I don't understand. Here's what's this is the Cowboys front office in a nutshell. Rico Dowdle had the best game of his professional life 3 weeks ago against this very team that we're watching on Monday Night Football right now. You got Daniel Jones and the New York Giants against the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? It's 9-6, maybe one of the ugliest Monday night games we've seen. It's actually almost as bad as the Monday night game we had last Monday that nobody watched, right? The one on ESPN Plus.
Oh yeah, lowest viewership ever.
Yeah, they finally found their breaking point of people can only take so much,
too much
right?
Football and ESPN Plus,
and it was on ESPN Plus, right? Like if you've got now if that had been a good game, people would have made a way to watch it. Nobody in their right mind saying, "Yeah, let me plunk down $10.99 to go watch the Chargers and the Arizona Cardinals."
Right? I always derail the segments. It's one of the many things I don't do well in a radio production, but I kept trying to get ESPN Plus through somebody else, and they were sending they
sent the code to him.
Yes, but he wasn't getting the code, and I was getting so frustrated.
That is bad.
I spent 5 minutes, and I just because I watch a lot of the hockey on ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus is great for hockey.
Is it?
Any out-of-market game, it's awesome.
I did not know that. Well, I learned something new today.
Got you back.
I've got ESPN Plus. I use it for college basketball. Is pretty much all I use
also
it for.
A good one.
That's
caught a lot of games on the ESPN Plus for the old Oakland Golden Grizzlies.
Well, say no more. There you go. But going back to the Cowboys, Rico Dowdle, and the one time you had some semblance of a running game was 3 weeks ago. Then the following week against the Lions, after Ezekiel Elliott complained all week about he couldn't understand why he was there and why he's a feature back, but yet I'm not getting any carries, and why you didn't give it to me down by the goal line, which, okay, that's fine, but I thought the timing of it was a little interesting, okay? Then what happens against the Lions? Oh, he's your main running back the whole game, and Rico gets no carries. Then last night, looked good to me. Like I said, I'm just a normal guy. I'm not a doctor, nor have I ever played one on TV. And then suddenly he's out yesterday, and we had to watch Dalvin Cook play. So I don't know what is going on with this running game and how you keep the old proverbial don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Well, that's what you're doing right now with this running game. Don't tell me that Rico Dowdle can be a guy, but yet when he finally does show he can be, you decide not to.
Yeah, it's interesting because I almost have that same, and I'm guilty of this. I was calling for Dalvin Cook. The rushing attack had been so stagnant. Right. Why not see what you have?
Why not?
But I didn't expect it for it to come with the removal of
Rico Dowdle.
I didn't know that those two had to happen simultaneously. And if you're telling me he's sick, I guess we just have to believe that.
Look, we've already. Who was the dadgummit? Who was it? Was it Jordan Phillips? earlier this year that they put on IR and said it was a wrist injury. And as he was walking off the field or whatever, they caught him in the locker room, and he said, "I'm fine and more than capable of playing."
Yeah, that's right.
So, and look, we're not going to pretend like this doesn't happen in the NFL. All right, I mean, how many times do you find a guy that goofs up a play and then suddenly he's on IR or is on the injured report the following week because of a mysterious injury and he had a bad game? I mean, it happens all the time. Hell, the Chiefs just did it with the wide receiver 2 weeks ago. Sky Moore drops a ball. He's been one of the worst second-round picks in the Veach era. Drops a ball and then goes on IR with a core strain, and then boom, the next day they signed DeAndre Hopkins. It happens, right? But it just, in this case, when it comes to Rico Dowdle, I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know what this team's doing, what kind of the direction of this team is right now. Real quick, we'll get out of here with this. This is what Steven had to say. Cut number 3. Is this team even good enough in 2024?
No, I mean, I just think, this team's made up of a lot of the same players that won, 12 games the 3 prior seasons. I think it's, right now we're just going through adversity. We've had more than our share of injuries. It feels like this year, especially on the defensive side of the ball, coupled, with a new staff and a new scheme. So on the defensive side, I do think we've got really good football players. It's a matter of getting them, executing together and getting after it. But no, I think we've got, really good football players. And at times, we've had spurts where we played well, and obviously at times we're not playing well.
Well, those spurts that you're not playing well tend to outnumber the spurts that you are playing well.